Next thing is technique. Right, so we are going to go down the technical pathway. Then we're going to look at some core ideas for you guys to build into your coaching repertoire. All right. So I'm just going to teach you how I teach, and I think I've gone through this before with you already, both of you. I'm just going to go through it again to get you guys to hopefully put some input into this. All right. How many parts do we divide up our swings into? Four. What are they? Yep. Bingo. Right. So we need to make sure that every time we look at someone's swing, we are trying to decipher, do they have a good preparation? Do they have a good loading phase, getting under the ball? How is their contact phase? Are they turning? Right? Are their strings up or down, all the rest of it? Right? And then do they have a follow through? Right? So I'm glad that you guys both remembered that one. But my question to you is, how do we progress that? Where do we start?
Just there's preparation.
So we've already got a different opinion here. So let's run with that. All right, Riley, start with you. Where do you want to start?
Well, usually I just I see the swing like first,
Yep.
and then like if they're missing some pieces of like if their like preparation is like if they're like looping it like way too much, or like if they're going forward, back, then forward,
Yep.
like then I'm just like, okay, just go straight back. This is how you prepare, and then just like do like one.
Okay, so let's say
Step at a time.
we had a kid who doesn't play much sport. And Mum says, "Oh, we'll give tennis a go. We can do it as an individual, so you're not going to affect the team or anything like that.
Yeah.
Don't have much hand-eye coordination. Right? You're going to throw balls to them. Right? How are you going to start?"
All right.
So this would.
I'll have them
Sorry,
just
one
have
thing.
their racket back.
This will also relate to Hot Shots Red, Hot Shots Blue, kids who haven't done stuff before. All right. So where are we going to get them to start their rackets? Yeah. Probably in the loading phase.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's the most important phase of all these three?
Definitely loading.
Contact.
Yeah.
All right. Everything boils down to contact. All right. Like you can have the biggest swing in the world, all right, the smallest swing in the world. You must have good contact. Like that's the only thing that matters. All right. That's why there's not all professionals running the same technique, because the technique doesn't matter to some degree. It's only contact that matters. All right. And in that itself, if you think about that on the inverse, when Novak Djokovic misses a forehand, was there something wrong with his technique? No. Right? But there might have been slightly out with his movement, slightly out with his timing. His contact wasn't exactly where he wanted it. Right? It's not technique. They've done that. He's hit 1 million forehands in his life. So there's nothing wrong with his technique. Right? So we can't blame that, or we can't do that. So it has to boil down to contact. So what we want to teach at Hot Shots level, at new private level, we can't just teach contact. That doesn't work. Okay? So we have to go one step back from that, which is loading into contact. All right? So we're going to get kids to start here. We're going to get them pointing their racket to the ground. All right? Put a dot there. Get them to stand in front of a line like this. Point your racket at the line. You can tell them about point your butt cap forward if you want to. It doesn't really matter how you teach it. But they start here, and then they hit, and you don't even need to follow through when they start. All right? So in all honesty, I actually don't like seeing red ballers doing this, all right? Because red ball level, we don't need power. We need control, all right? And this creates power. I know it feels like as a coach that we're teaching them something. Catch your racket, do your follow through, scratch your back. That's great. I like that concept of wanting to teach them something.
Yeah.
But at red ball level, they don't need power. We don't need follow throughs, all right? So we just need to get from the loading into the contact. And then once we start contacting the ball consistently, we're going to break our path from process. The process is, can you hit the ball? Drop bounce hit, it's the same thing. Right? Can you hit the ball? And then the next thing is we go straight into results. Great. Can you hit the ball here? Can you hit it higher? Can you hit it, oh, you're hitting it really high. Can you hit it lower? Can you hit it more left, more right? Can you hit it to me? Can you hit it to my partner? Can you hit it to the yellow hoop, the bucket, whatever it is? Create a target, create a challenge, but that is a control exercise, not a technique thing. So there's no point going into follow-throughs and all the rest of it if they can't hit the ball left or right, because having a follow-through is not going to help them change the direction of the ball. All right? If we can't control how high we're hitting the ball, how hard we're hitting the ball, we need to control that before we start worrying about the swing. All right? So red ballers, if they're running around just tapping balls to each other like this, I am more than happy. If they can rally, we've succeeded.
Yeah.
All right? So that's our priority. So even in a private lesson, make sure your goal, if you're coaching a 6, 7, 8-year-old, you need to get them to rally. That's playing the game of tennis. All right? So we need to get them to play the game of tennis before we need them to have the perfect looking swing.
Yeah.
All right? It's a bit off topic, but it's relevant to what we're talking about. Parents, if they were ever to come down and play with their child who's getting lessons, let's see how your lessons are going, let's go have a hit. They're not going to throw the ball to their kid, watch their kid hit this beautiful follow through when the ball goes out of court, and think, this is fun, because they bring down 3 or 4 balls.
Yeah.
So they hit 3 or 4 balls and they go and pick them up. They hit 3, yeah, that looks nice. Like, no, they want to hit the ball with their kid and hit the ball back again and say, oh, yeah, we had a good rally today, guys. With their 3 or 4 balls, they want to hit lots of balls. They don't want to hit 2 balls and go and pick them up again. So we want to be able to feel like we're teaching them enough so they can rally. All right? And then, within that, work on their technique to help them achieve the goal of rally. All right? So if we were happy with the loading position and the contact, all right, are we going to go into the preparation of a loop or into a follow through next? Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to follow through next. So again, what does this part of the swing actually do? It only really generates power.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're trying to work control more than we're working about power. So, preparation, contact, and now starting to have a lengthening of swing here. We don't want to have a long swing and then stop.
Yeah.
All right, we'd rather have a shorter backswing and a longer follow through once they're ready to push depth. So once they can rally, once they can control left and right, and we're like, okay, depth is now good, all right, then we're going to start pushing follow through. All right, but don't just push follow through because you think that means they have a swing that looks like someone who's been coached.
Yeah.
All right, teach them how to control the ball. All right, so we're going to just pause there for a second on our technique, which you guys nailed the 4 things. What are the 4 things that we can control, and therefore what are the 4 things that we need to teach the kids how to control? Height. Direction.
Yep. Depth.
Depth is a combination of multiple things.
Okay. Let's see. Spin.
And
Let's see. Power.
power. Right, so that's it. So our kids, players, everyone needs to control their power, hard, soft. They should be aware of what do I do to swing hard, what do I do to swing soft. All right, height, how do I hit it higher, how do I hit it lower. Direction, how do I hit it more left, how do I hit it more right. And we'll only introduce spin once they've got the other 3. When I say mastered, you'll understand what I mean. It doesn't mean that they're perfect with it, but they have an understanding and a reasonable level of control of those. All right? Nobody needs topspin until they're actually hitting the ball so hard it goes out the back of the court.
Yeah.
All right? So topspin is a complication that you should add in when they're ready to be complicated.
Yeah.
All right? But don't come out here and say, hey, you're doing orange ball, you're going pretty well, you need topspin. All right? Because by adding that framework in of now you've got to figure out how to time spin with your shot, it can throw out all the rest of the stuff that they've been trying to learn.
Sure.
Is topspin bad? No, of course we love it, we want it, but they need to be hitting the ball harder and deep enough where topspin is actually going to start helping them. All right? Make sure they can do everything else first. All right? So, going down to it, yes, we want to teach technique. Yes, we want to feel like we've got a loop, a drop or pat the dog, a rotation to contact, a catch of the racket, high elbow, big nose, whatever you want to call it.